Here we go again with another video on how to fix your tumble dryer. The fault this time is that it was running, tumble dryer was running fine, and then all of a sudden everything in the house went off, all the power went off. And I came and unplugged the tumble dryer, flipped the RCD back on. With the tumble dryer plugged in, it wouldn't come back on. It just kept flipping back down. So unplugged the tumble dryer, flipped the RCD back on, and then plug the tumble dryer back in, and as soon as it comes on, it makes a wee beep, and it must do like a wee test. And when it did that wee beep, it wiped the RCD out again. So I had a wee look inside, checked the wiring coming. For some reason, I disconnected the heater part of it, which looks like this, and it's in the back. I disconnected that, and then I ran it again. I plugged it in, and it didn't trip it, and it ran fine. Obviously, it didn't heat up or anything, but it ran fine. And I thought it was like before we were resetting this one by tapping it to reset the fuse on that one. And this one is a thermostat, and I thought that was maybe broken. So I ordered a new heater, because you can't buy the little thermostat, but I ordered a new heater, put it in today. Same thing again, just wiped out the RCD right away. So I had a wee look online, and there was a suggestion of this thing called a interference suppressor, which is like the number 3 cause of why a tumble dryer would trip the power. And it's usually because of a fault with that, like it's burnt out or something. And basically, I'm not an electrician or whatever you call it, but basically it takes in the signal and cleans it up on the way out, and stops it being dirty on the way out, so it doesn't mess with other things, like give you a shaky picture on the telly or something like that. Anyway, had the whole thing in bits, looking for like ripped up wires and stuff in case something had been rubbing against the drum. There was nothing like that. And then I looked at this thing, which is just in the back corner where the power comes into the tumble dryer, and it had a thick layer of like the lint stuff that comes from the tumble dryer on the top of it, and up the side where there's got like earth. So I cleaned all that off. And then, I cleaned it all off, and I also like bypassed it by just joining the wires together that go into the interference suppressor, and it worked fine when I bypassed it. And then I cleaned up the thing, got all the lint and dust off of it, plugged it back in, absolutely fine. So if your tumble dryer is causing your power to trip in your house, this is obviously not my house, this is my garage, but if it's causing the power to trip in the house, check that, take the lid off and have a look. And also, just do that anyway. Here's how you do it. But you should definitely do this, because I took this apart a few months ago when I was trying to fix it last time, and the amount of lint in here was just ridiculous. Like it was about, I wouldn't be surprised if it was about to catch fire. Anyway, in the back here, just unplug it just in case. So in your one, this will be on here, on the back, and it's got 3 little screws in here which you need to take out with sort of like a spanner. That's what they look like there. 3 of those which hold this on. Take that off, and then this lid just pops off. So you need to like get some leverage and wiggle it, and it comes off. And then here, where the power goes in, this bit, just on the other side of that, here, this little bit here is the interference suppressor. So you see the live wires come in here, and then they come out on these white bits and go down to the control board there. So just check the top of that for some dust. If there's dust on there, it might be connecting the wires together, and that's what's causing the RCD to trip. And that's exactly what it was. There was a thick layer of dust there. You could hardly see it if you weren't looking for it. But now it's all clean. And it's quite good, actually, because instead of these arcing together and setting that little bit dust on fire, it just tripped the power and it wouldn't come on. But yeah, have a look inside yours. Have a look down the sides here. It's probably all full of dust everywhere, so hoover it out. Hopefully that was useful to you. Check that first, don't go ordering a new heater right away. See you in the next one. Also, if that did help you, drop a wee beer money on the PayPal if you want. See you later. Here's a wee demonstration of how it would have looked if this stuff, there was a little bit of this on top of that bit, how it would have looked if that had got a spark on it instead of the thing coming on to stop this, instead of the interference suppressor causing it to trip the switch. So we've got the lint and a flint and steel, which will give us a good spark. It's probably a bit too much actually. See that? And that would be a fire starting in the tumble dryer if that hadn't tripped the switch. But luckily, look at that, see, tiny spark on that. Luckily, we've got the safety measures in place to stop that sort of thing happening. So you don't have to worry about this little fire happening just under here, setting fire to this bit of wood and then burning down the whole place. Thanks for watching.